Hi, everybody. I'd like to read to you from the Jesus Storybook Bible, written by Sally Lloyd Jones. And this one is called A Giant Staircase to Heaven. And if you happen to have this Bible at home, it's on page 48. Noah and his family lived in the land, and his children had children, and those children had more children, and then those children had even more. Well, you get the picture. Until there were lots of people on the earth once more. Now, back then, everyone spoke exactly the same language, so you didn't need to learn Swahili or Japanese or anything because you could say hello to anyone and they knew what you meant. One day, everyone was talking and they came up with an idea. Let's build ourselves a beautiful city to live in. It can be our home, and we'll be safe forever and ever. Then they had another idea. Let's build a really tall tower to reach up to heaven. Yes, they said. We'll say, look at us up here. And everyone will look up at us, and we'll look down on them. And then we'll know we are something. We will be like God. We'll be famous and safe and happy, and everything will be all right. So they got to work. Brick by brick, the tower grew higher and higher until it soared above the city, touching the sky. They built stairs in the tower to climb to the top. It was like a giant staircase to heaven. Look, they cheered, we're the ones. See what we can do with our very own hands? They were quite pleased with themselves. But God was not pleased with them. God could see what they were doing. They were trying to live without him, but God knew that wouldn't make them happy or safe or anything. If they kept on like this, they would only destroy themselves, and God loved them too much to let that happen. So he stopped their plans. One morning, they went to work as usual, but everything was different. Their words were all new and funny. You see, God had given each person a completely different language. Suddenly, no one understood what anyone else was saying. Someone would say, how do you do? And the other person thought they said, how ugly are you? It wasn't funny, though. You would be saying something nice like, such a lovely morning, and get a punch in the nose because they thought you said, hush up, you're boring. You couldn't even say pardon to check if you'd heard right because no one understood that word either. It wasn't easy to work together after that, as you can only imagine. People were always quarreling and fighting and getting in a dreadful muddle and becoming grumpier and grumpier until at last they were all too cross to keep on building and just had to stop. After that, people scattered all over the world, which is how we ended up with so many different languages to this day. You see, God knew however high they reached, however hard they tried, people could never get back to heaven by themselves. People didn't need a staircase. They needed a rescuer, because the way back to heaven wasn't a staircase. It was a person. People could never reach up to heaven. So heaven would have to come down to them. And one day it would. The story I'd like to read to you tonight is called Wordy Birdie. It's really adorable. It's written by Tammy Sauer and illustrated by Dave Mottram. Wordy Birdie. Yay, you're so close to the story right now. Just turn the page. She's very excited. I am too. Well, we are in a pretty good book. Meet Wordy Birdie. Wordy Birdie has lots to say. It starts the moment she wakes up. See? Hello, sunrise. Hello, pink sky. Hello, orange sky. Hello, yellow sky. Hello. Hello, gorgeous. Sometimes Wordy Birdie talks about what she likes. I like spaghetti and unicorns and library books and polka dots and standing on my head, and sometimes she talks about what she does not like. I don't like tall grass or turtlenecks or long lines or tuna salad or losing my balloon, or sometimes she just asks questions. Why do zebras have stripes? Is Bigfoot real? Are we there yet? But she never stops talking long enough to get the answers. Wordy Birdie is not the world's best listener. Oh, please. Are we talking about the same bird here? Okay. Wordy Birdie is terrible at listening. She never listens to anybody, even when she should. This one time, I totally went swimming with a narwhal. My third cousin Barb is a penguin. Really? Do you think there's an award for Bird of the Year? Fact, people used to think the world was flat and you could fall right off the end. One day, Wordy Bird takes a walk into the deep woods. Naturally, she has plenty to say. That's a pretty tree. And that's a pretty danger sign. And that's a pretty tree. And before long, Squirrel zips in front of Wordy Birdie. Stop! Don't go any farther. Does Wordy Birdie listen? She does not. Ooh, a pine cone. Ooh, a sign. Ooh, a rock. Oh, a leaf. Soon Rabbit dashes onto the scene. Go back while you still can. Does Wordy Birdie listen? She does not. Yay, my favorite, strawberries for me and carrots for me and tomatoes for me. Then Raccoon gives a piece of advice. Run for your life. What do you think? Whoa, it's getting darker and darker and darker. Looky there, white circles and triangles. I love white circles and triangles. Roar, roar. Oh. Do Squirrel, Rabbit, and Raccoon just leave Wordy Birdie there? We do not. Come, follow us. This is the way. And Wordy Birdie? She listens. That was almost unbearable. Hooray, we made it. Then Wordy Birdie says, thank you, the best way she knows how. I love you guys. Like, I really, really, really love you. Seriously, I love you more than spaghetti and unicorns and... Wordy Birdie still likes to talk a lot. See? Good night, sunset. Good night, orange sky. Good night, purple. Ooh, good night, you. But sometimes Remember when we totally saved you from that bear? We were brave and amazing, and that was so cool. Sometimes she likes to listen too. Now that's what I call a good story. I'm going to read it again and again, and then she'll read it approximately 523 times. This is true. Yep. Well, Wordy Birdie didn't like to listen, and that got her in a lot of trouble. And the people in our Bible story didn't want to listen to God either. And that got them into a bit of trouble. So it's always best to listen to God, because God knows what's best for us. He does, always, because he loves us more than we can know. Sleep in peace. God is awake. Good night.